Welcome to the 2025 Colorado Butterfly Network training. This is the training that has been given at our in-person trainings, so some spots may be different as you are learning this material virtually. If at any point you need a break, please pause the training at your convenience. My name is Kyla, and I will be representing Butterfly Pavilion today during this Community Science Initiative training. The Colorado Butterfly Monitoring Network is one of the many educational and conservational programs that the Butterfly Pavilion supports and is an active part of. Butterfly Pavilion exists to foster an appreciation of invertebrates by educating the public about the need to protect and care for threatened habitats globally, while conducting research for solutions in invertebrate conservation. Pavilion's mission is this. At Butterfly Pavilion, we transform the way people think about invertebrates. These small but mighty animals that surround us are so much more than people think. They are everywhere because everything depends on them. They are the hidden heroes of the animal kingdom, and we stand on the backs of these tiny giants. For today's training agenda, we will do an intro into CBMN, which is the Colorado Butterfly Monitoring Network. We will go over how to monitor. This includes monitoring protocol, running a field day, and submitting data into an online database called PollardBase. We'll also go over establishing monitoring routes, where you will learn how to build a route, and you will learn habitat designations. And finally, you will gain an introduction into butterfly identification, where we will go over different butterfly families found here in Colorado, as well as butterfly identification resources. The Colorado Butterfly Monitoring Network, or CBMN, is a community science project that utilizes passionate local volunteers to conserve and understand Colorado butterflies. Butterfly monitors establish personalized routes to walk their neighborhoods or beloved outdoor spaces. Volunteers are encouraged to walk their routes several times throughout the season, counting and identifying the butterflies they see. The essential data that you, as a monitor, collect is then utilized by policymakers and landowners when making conservation decisions. Knowing which butterflies are active in the state of Colorado provides important information about the health of our local ecosystems. This year marks the 13th season of the Colorado Butterfly Monitoring Network. What started as a small program of 4 volunteers has expanded into 69 active routes across 14 counties in Colorado. This is a look at other butterfly community science programs across the country that we collaborate with. Community science helps foster a deep connection and understanding of our natural world, starting with straightforward, accessible science close to home. Curiosity and simple questions that start in your backyard can lead to exploration and understanding of the natural world around you. Community science allows people to come together towards a common goal to help learn about and protect wildlife. CBMN is based off of the Texas and Illinois Butterfly Monitoring Network programs. Here is the CBMN contact information. We ask that you direct all of your inquiries, questions, need for help to the general program email, which is cbmn@butterflies.org. We are happy to help assist in any way you may need. Here's a little bit of butterfly monitoring history. Pollard Protocol was developed by Ernie Pollard specifically for monitoring butterflies. It tracks the changes in butterfly diversity and populations throughout the seasons. Utilizing Pollard Protocol is important because it helps maintain consistent data collection. The database we use to store all of our data is called PollardBase because the programs that use it all utilize Pollard Monitoring Protocol. Other long-term monitoring programs in the United States include Art Shapiro's observations in California in 1972 and the Illinois Butterfly Monitoring Network, which was established in 1987. So why do we monitor butterflies? Butterflies play important roles in their ecosystems. Butterflies are pollinators of native plants. As caterpillars, they are specialist herbivores and they feed only on specific host plants. Whereas in contrast, moths are polyphagous. This means they are not as picky as butterflies and will eat more than one thing, so they have more food sources. Butterflies are an important food source for birds and other mammals. You can see here in this diagram here depicted that the butterfly serves as an important food source for many different species in the environment. Butterflies are sensitive to changes in the environment and are considered ecosystem indicator species. Changes in their environment due to weather or climate-related events can affect a species' ability to thrive or even survive in that ecosystem. Finally, they are considered what are called charismatic insects. We learn from a young age to love and admire butterflies. The next two slides are to illustrate the types of data that our program collects. The bottom image summarizes the program throughout the years and how the program has grown. We also compare the data that we collect from year to year, as in the image on the top. This is comparing how many butterflies were seen each season compared to the time monitors spent in the field from 2013 to 2024. On the graph, you can see 2019 was the best year for butterfly abundance, whereas 2024 was a rough year. The long-term data reflects how the populations change over time. These are more examples of the essential data we collect, which helps land managers and policymakers when making conservation decisions. Knowing which butterflies are active in the state gives important information about the health of local ecosystems. The examples here include which butterfly species were seen the most each year, what the observed butterfly family diversity is each year, and it summarizes our findings by each county. We are even able to compare monarch populations to the overwintering monarchs in Mexico. That was an overview of the program. Next, we will get into how to actually monitor. So a little monitoring 101 overview. We will go over the protocol of how to monitor, the recommendations that we suggest, using the field form when surveying, and reporting data into Pollard Base and your hours into the Butterfly Pavilion volunteer form. So these are the must-follow monitoring protocol guidelines. When monitoring, you will have a specific route that you walk at least 3 times per season. During a monitoring session, there is one person who is observing the butterflies, and any other accompanying people are taking notes or helping with butterfly identifications. When walking, you'll want to keep a consistent pace and only observe butterflies within a 6-meter bubble. This is about 6 large paces. Make sure to record any breaks longer than 3 minutes. Here is the monitoring bubble that I just spoke about. This is a visualization of that. Butterflies can be counted, whereas butterflies outside the bubble are ignored. It's important to only note butterflies in your bubble as your observations are connected to your specific route, and butterflies outside of the 6-meter bubble will be too far away to get an accurate identification of. Because we are collecting data to draw scientific conclusions, it's important that the data submitted is accurate and complete. When monitoring, you will document your observations on a field form, which we will look at in a few slides. It is important that you fill out all aspects of the form and enter data in honestly. No butterflies observed is good data. Making guesses is bad data. Record all of your observations, even if it's at a weird time or if the weather is unideal. It's important that you keep track of the time it takes you to walk your route. If you follow the protocols we talk about, you will be submitting good data. So to go over again, consistency is key. There will be a single observer. Additional monitors can act as a scribe and help with identification of butterflies. You will walk the same route at least 6 times a year throughout the butterfly season. You'll walk at a steady pace. You will observe butterflies seen inside a 6-meter bubble, and you will consider timing and weather conditions when you're out observing. Additionally, you will submit your data promptly into Pollard Base and track your hours for Butterfly Pavilion volunteers. So these are monitoring recommendations. They are not the law as the other protocol might suggest. You will typically see the most butterflies between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Peak butterfly season is May through September, but we often see butterflies in April and October. You will need to walk your route at least 3 times per season, but we recommend 6 times in order to get a robust data set for that location. Warm, sunny days are when you will see the most butterflies. If it is too windy or too cold, there will be little butterfly activity as they are powered by the sun. The most important thing to take when you are monitoring is your field form and something to write with. Make sure that you are prepared for the outside conditions on your walk. If it is hot, wear sun protection and bring water. Bringing an interest in butterflies isn't necessary, but it makes participation in this program much more fun. You are also welcome to bring field guides and identification resources. We do have monitoring kits that can be checked out, and a field guide is included in that brochure. We also have book field guides that you can check out as well. Should you be interested in these materials, please email us at cbmn@butterflies.org to let us know. Here is a sample of the field form. There are categories for where, when, which is the date, start and end times, who is conducting the survey and their role, what the weather is and the weather conditions, the habitat types. Please be sure to fill all of this out as the information is very important. The field form comes with pre-filled spots of species that are most common on our Colorado Front Range. There is also a form that is completely blank for you to fill out yourself. Here is the link to that form. Please be sure to email us with any questions you may have. So you're ready for your field day. What you will do is gather your materials. Note when you leave your house. You will note the time spent traveling, as this counts as volunteer time. Fill out your field form and note the time and weather conditions. At the end of your survey, end the marked time and conditions again. Note when you arrive back home and any time that you spent making identifications on the butterflies that you saw. Enter your data from the field form into Pollard Base. Make sure that you enter all the time that you spent traveling, making IDs, and walking your route onto Butterfly Pavilion's volunteer time tracking form. The top image is what Pollard Base looks like. At the end of this training, you will email the CBMN@butterflies.org email with your name and preferred email, and we will create a Pollard Base account for you. Within a few weeks, you will receive an email from Pollard Base to finish setting up your account with a username and password. The bottom image is of the Google form that Butterfly Pavilion utilizes to track volunteer time. All volunteer time is submitted on a Google form, which you can access from the PDF version of the training or on Butterfly Pavilion's website under CBMN resources. We have covered an overview of the program and how to monitor. Next, we will cover how to make your own monitoring route and how to enter data into Pollard Base. Here is the monitoring vocabulary that we will go over. First of all, there is the site, which is the area of interest. This can be a park or an open space or a location such as Rocky Mountain National Park. Next is the route. This is the path walked on at the site. This is a specific trail or the name of the path that you will walk. A visit is each time a route is walked. This is once per day. Next is a section. That is what each route is divided into and is defined by habitat. The section is the different habitat zones that you pass through on your route. The image shows the route, and the highlighted sections reflect the different habitat types that get passed through on the route. We will cover how to identify the different habitat types in the next section. CBMN currently has 129 established routes throughout the state. However, only 65 were active and had data submitted in 2021. Currently, most active routes are concentrated on the Front Range. This is great for regional data, but we are missing data from the variety of habitats that Colorado has to offer along the western slope, eastern plains, and high altitude locales. We also offer zip code matching, where you can adopt a route. We are looking to reactivate old routes in addition to establishing new ones, and we have a list of each route and the 3 nearest zip codes. If you'd prefer to monitoring an existing route, please reach out to us at cbmn@butterflies.org, and we will take a look at what routes we have that are closest to you. So what makes a good route? We recommend the following in helping you choose or establishing a route. Ensure that the route works for you. Choose a place that can be monitored consistently. This could be somewhere near your home or somewhere that you regularly visit in the summer. The route should contain at least 2 habitat types. We will go over habitat designation in later slides. Your route can be an out and back or a looped. An out and back route, you will only monitor one direction. You don't want to double count butterflies that you have already seen. A looped route is more preferred as it removes the temptation to backtrack. Here is an example of a good route. It is an urban setting which is close to where you might reside. It has easy access from a parking lot. It has more than one habitat type. This has 5 different habitat types. It is also a looped route instead of an out and back. We do have a map making guide available. You will utilize Google Maps to draw the path that you will walk on your route. We can assist if needed. Once complete, send your map to cbmn@butterflies.org and we will upload it into Pollardbase for you. The map making instructions that we have provided are straightforward and pretty intuitive. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. So next up is Pollardbase, where we submit data once the survey is complete. This is a central location for monitors, other monitoring groups with similar Pollard-esque protocol to submit data. You will create an account on Pollardbase to record your data. At the end of the season, we will pull the data to create the annual report of butterfly findings. It is best to report your data as soon as possible after your survey so that they don't pile up and suddenly you have a lot to submit at the end of the season. New Pollard-based data submission guide is available this season. You can find it under Butterfly Pavilion CBMN resources. Depending on your program, your monitors may create an account to submit data themselves, or they can send data to you to submit on their behalf. The data entry process is fairly intuitive, and using the field form we provide will help to streamline the process. Always double check each field before submitting a survey. While we do look over each survey before final approval, the interface makes it difficult to edit surveys once they are submitted. If you find trouble with Pollardbase, please contact us at cbmn@butterflies.org and we will attempt to help. We frequently see errors in the data entry in the time section. The end time autofills with the time and date that the survey was entered into Pollardbase. Also, please ensure that you are recording your volunteer time. All time spent towards the program is submitted via Google Form here. It all counts as volunteer work. That was a very brief overview for how to create a map and submit data. Looking at the resources provided online will be helpful. Next, we will discuss how to classify the zones of your route into habitat sections. Currently, you can have up to 5 different habitat types in Pollardbase. We recommend at least 2 different habitat types on your route. You'll notice on the image that the colors repeat, so you will want to make one section for each habitat type and repeat that as needed. For example, on this map, Section C is prairie. All areas of the route that walk through prairie will be labeled as Section C. Habitat designations can be difficult, but we are here to help. Pictures are very helpful when trying to identify what your route may be. So why do we use habitat designations? This can be used to describe which butterflies can be expected in which habitats. It also aids in the consistency throughout the data between monitors. Monitors ultimately designate the habitat types, but we are always willing to help. Like I said before, pictures are very helpful. Next, we will get into the different habitat types. Here are the different habitat types that you may encounter along your Colorado butterfly monitoring route. We have herbaceous upland, cultivated land, developed, old field, barren land, transitional ecotone, open water, forested wetland, shrub wetland, herbaceous wetland, forested upland, shrub upland, and savanna. Here are also the differences between upland versus wetland, shrub versus herbaceous. We look at the water availability of the landscape and the type of plants present. This chart is very helpful. If the area has high water availability or floods for some part of the year, we classify it as a wetland. If the landscape is elevated or has low chances of flooding, it is considered an upland. Next is the differentiation between shrub versus herbaceous. Shrub stems are typically tough and not green. They're thick in diameter and covered with a bark. Herbaceous stems are soft and generally green, with little growth in diameter and covered by a softer epidermis, which makes them bendable. Think of herbaceous plants as bendable and soft, such as grasses and wildflowers, whereas shrub plants are typically more tough and more likely to scrape you, such as sagebrush. Next, we will go over each habitat designation and what makes them each. Forested wetlands include large trees that provide canopy cover, and can include other plants, but large trees are typically the primary vegetation. There is high moisture availability, usually fully saturated with water in parts of the year, or near a permanent water source like a stream or a lake. Shrub wetlands include bushes and vegetation that do not provide canopy cover. They include plants that are woody and tough. High moisture is available, usually fully saturated by water in parts of the year, or near a permanent water source like a stream or a lake. Herbaceous wetlands include plants that do not provide canopy cover. They usually consist of plants that are green, soft, and bendable, with little to no minimal bark on the stems. This area can be prone to flooding. Forested uplands consist of larger trees and other plants that provide canopy cover. There is little to no water availability. Shrub uplands include plants that are woody and tough. Bushes and vegetation do not provide canopy cover. This is usually a dry area. Herbaceous uplands include your prairies and wildflower fields with soft green bendable vegetation, and there are plants that provide no canopy cover. Savannas are large stretches of grasses with scattered woody plants and little trees. The trees present will provide minimal canopy cover. Your developed areas are typically near where you reside, such as neighborhoods and parks. Is anything that is in an urban setting and that has been landscaped and manicured and has a sidewalk. Cultivated land or farmland grows foods for consumption. It has land that has been prepared through plowing and sowing for agricultural purposes. Old fields are farmlands that are now abandoned. They are rare in Colorado. Barren land is your typical dry desert area. They are more common in southern Colorado. This is not a likely spot to see many butterflies. Open water is an expanse of a body of water devoid of any obstructions. These are rare in Colorado, but should it be on your route, it would look like a boardwalk or a trail that runs directly next to a body of water. A transitional ecotone is a unique one. It is a 50-50 split of two areas, and it is rare to observe in nature. Habitats that exhibit mixed characteristics of two ecosystems is a transitional ecotone. There must be clear distinction, such as a tree line of mountainside, boundary between forest and grassland, one type on one side and another type on the other side. These are usually rare. Choose the habitat type that is predominant in the area. Next, we will go over a few quiz questions of what we just learned about different habitat designations. So what habitat is this? As we can see, it has water, it is devoid of canopy cover, and it has green stems and not a lot of woody plants. This is herbaceous wetland. This habitat type is in an urban area. You can see a sidewalk and manicured places to be. If you answered develop, you're correct. This habitat type has much canopy cover, is devoid of a water source. You answered forested upland, you're correct. Those were the different habitat types. Again, we are happy to help when you submit pictures of your route to help you identify what you're looking at. If this is a point where you need to pause the training, now would be a good time to do so. When you return, we will cover an overview of butterflies and butterfly diversity here in Colorado before wrapping up the training. Next, we will jump into our different Colorado butterflies seen here in the state. The Colorado Butterfly Monitoring Network currently only tracks butterfly populations and not moths. Colorado is a very special place. It allows for a large diversity of different species of butterflies, over 250 different species. About 1/3 of the United States butterflies exist in Colorado. Many rare species are able to live here due to the unique Rocky Mountain habitats. As a reminder, here is the butterfly life cycle. We start with an egg, which moves to a caterpillar or a larva, which then pupates, which then emerges as a butterfly. This is a funny depiction of a moth. Here is a visualization of the general traits you will see depicting a moth versus a butterfly. Moths will have wide, more stout bodies. Moth antennae are usually feathered, while butterflies are straight with a bulb or a club on the end. Butterflies are usually brightly colored. Again, here are some generalizations to help distinguish between moths and butterflies. But of course, there are exceptions to most rules. All butterflies are active during the day. Moths can be either active during the day or at night. Butterflies are usually brightly colored, but we have many brown butterflies here in Colorado. Butterflies also have clubbed or bulbed antennae, which is unique to them. Butterflies also create a butterfly pupa also create a chrysalis instead of a cocoon like the moth. Next, we will cover an overview of the types of butterflies to help make the most accurate identifications. When you are making identifications, it can be daunting, especially if you are new to butterflies. Guessing on identification is not what we want, as this is not good data. Should you need a field guide to help with identifications, we are able to provide you for those. You can check them out with a monitoring kit. Please let us know should you need one at cbmn@butterflies.org. Again, please do not guess on what you are looking at. Try to narrow down the best you can with your resources by focusing on major features and family characteristics. We are always here to help you with your identifications. Should you not want a literary resource, there is also online resources such as iNaturalist to help where you can submit photos where the public can help with identifications. I'm going to emphasize again that it's important not to guess on what you are looking at, as this is not good data. Will also have a butterfly identification resource at our CBMN volunteer resources on the Butterfly Pavilion website. Here are some butterfly features that can help with identification. Noting a butterfly's features, we can usually narrow down our identifications to a butterfly family level. It is helpful to know where the butterfly is, what time of year is it, how is it flying, is their flight pattern slow and lofty, is it bouncy, or is it fast and erratic? The size of the butterfly is also helpful to know. Is it small in size or is it large? Wing markings and shape can also help identify what you're looking at. This diagram illustrates the terminology for different wing regions. Dorsal side, which is the opposite of ventral, may look vastly different from each other. Guides may show one or both viewing from above, dorsally, or viewing from below, ventrally. The characteristics of the antenna, the shape in the bulb or hook on the end, is also good to know. The colors of the butterfly and the patterns of its wings markings are also important to note. Now we will go over the 6 main butterfly families: swallowtails, gossamer winged whites and sulfurs, brushfoots, skippers, and metalmarks. We will also go over the main characteristics for each group. Swallowtails are family Papilionidae, one of the less diverse families with only 600 species worldwide and 30 in the United States. This group contains the largest butterflies in the world. Most of them have tail-like structures protruding from the hindwing, similar to a swallow bird, which is where they get their name. In Colorado, there are about 10 species of swallowtails. Again, these are going to be the biggest butterflies that you may see. Here we have one species of Parnassian, the Rocky Mountain Parnassian. These look very unique, being white and gray with distinct red spots. The true swallowtails here will be either black or black and yellow. Many look very similar. We have 3 species of swallowtail that are yellow with black stripes, so be sure to look carefully and collect images when you can. Family Lycaenidae, which are called gossamer wings due to their tiny size and shiny coloration. This group includes the Colorado hairstreak, which is the state butterfly. They are tiny and quick flying and look very similar to each other, which makes identification difficult. There are 3 main groups of gossamer wings: the hairstreaks, the blues, and the coppers. We have many different types of gossamer wings here in Colorado, including several species of hairstreaks and elfins, blues, and coppers. Unidentified lycanid is good data. Narrowing it down to unidentified blue is good data. Guessing is not good data. Family Puridae are the whites, sulfurs, and yellows, named for this family being white, yellow, and orange. This group includes the most common butterfly in Colorado and possibly the world, the cabbage white or European cabbage butterfly. In Colorado, we have whites and sulfurs. They are typically easy to narrow down to unidentified white or unidentified sulfur. These are the 4 most common periods seen in Colorado, according to CBMN data. Family Hesperidae, or the skippers, are a very unique group that are frequently mistaken for moths. These butterflies are very small and fly erratically, often appearing to be skipping through the air. Their antennae are hooked rather than bulbed, and they hold their wings back in a unique halfway position. Most of these butterflies are brown, tan, or gray. Here in Colorado, we have about 45 species. Many look very similar to each other. They will be tan, orange, brown, or gray. The easiest to identify is the silver-spotted skipper due to its unique appearance. Family Nymphalidae is the biggest and most diverse group of butterflies. There are about 100 species in Colorado, 200 in the United States, and 6,000 globally. This group includes many of the best known and iconic species. The term brushfoot comes from a special adaptation. The foremost pair of legs are greatly reduced with brush-like structures and are not used for walking. This gives them the appearance of only having 4 walking legs instead of the 6 leg characteristic of all insects. We will go over some of the most iconic species found in Colorado. Here are your most iconic species, known as butterfly royalty. You have your monarch, queen, and viceroy. Viceroys are monarch mimics. The time of year is helpful with distinguishing as viceroys are early in the season and monarchs are late. Here are the classics, such as the Buckeyes, Red Admirals, and Painted Ladies, as well as the punctuations, such as your commas and your question marks. Here are the fritillaries. Many of these look very similar, so identification can be difficult. Family Rheodinidae, or the metal marks, are not very common in the United States, with only 2 species found in Colorado. They are usually pretty small and are characterized by metallic spots on their wings. These are the 2 species that could possibly be seen in Colorado: the Nias metalmark and the Mormon metalmark. They are tiny but distinctive in appearance, and they are rare. Next, we will go over a couple quiz questions of the different butterfly families that we just learned. What butterfly is this? It is large in size. It has pale yellow coloration with thick black stripes. It has broad shoulders. It walks on 6 legs and has tail-like projections in its hind wings. This butterfly was a swallowtail. This next butterfly is medium in size. It has soft orange and brown coloration with no silver spots. It walks on 4 legs. A brush-footed butterfly is the correct answer. This next butterfly is small in size. It flies close to the ground and it has hooked, banded antennae. This butterfly is a skipper. This next butterfly walks on 6 legs. It's yellow in coloration, and it is considered small and dainty. This is a sulfur butterfly belonging to family Puridae. This next butterfly is very small. It is delicate looking, and its coloration is shiny in appearance. This is a gossamer winged butterfly. So that was a broad overview of butterfly families. Please make sure to utilize your resources as it will be very helpful in making identifications. We are here to help. Please send us any photos you may have to help with identification. Again, putting unidentified sulfur is good data. Guessing on what it is not good data. Field guides are available to you as well as the resources for monitors found on the Butterfly Pavilion Community Science webpage, as well as iNaturalist. We are always willing to help with identifications. To wrap up this training session, here is what's next for you. You will want to choose a monitoring route by early June. Butterfly monitoring season is from May to September, so June at the very latest is when you should start thinking about your routes. Email us your location, and we can give you an abandoned route to choose from, or you can create your own. Should you not have a Pollard-based account, please email us at cbmn@butterflies.org, and we will help create you one. Make sure that you get out and monitor at least 3 times, even though we encourage 6. Please submit your data into Pollard Base and your time spent on the program to Butterfly Pavilion's Google form. To go over again, your next steps will be to look over the training resources that we will be sending to you via email. Choose or establish a route by June 1st at the latest. Register for Pollard Base. Again, if you do not have an account, please reach out to us via email and we will set you up one. And please contact CBMN staff if and when you need support along the way. We are always here to help you.